staring at the flames as they dancing red on the corpse of the land. There in the midst of wondering again.
We're having those problems with the heat coming up off of these terminals and having problems with our PVC plastic or ABS or whatever type of material if you're using a SMAC type booster. Besides using a heavier gauge steel down here for the strap, for the terminal strap, I've decided to try something else, and so this is a quick clip of what I'm going to use. And basically it's going to consist of JB Weld, a 5/16 bolt, and then obviously a lid for the PVC. A lid. Here's some of the properties of it. And again, JB Weld. I never ran into this stuff before. I just found out about it, so I'm kind of excited. Anyway, yeah, you can see the tensile strength is 3960 in PSI. Shrinkage is 0. Resistant to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So, and actually on the package it says that the max temp is 600 degrees. But some of the things that you can use it for is an adhesive, a laminate, plug filler sealant, and electrical insulator. It says does not conduct electricity. So I thought instead of trying to look around and find a ceramic insulator or and then put the bolt through that and try to get it work that way, what I ended up doing was taking a lid and I ended up drilling a 13/16 hole, and this is the type of lid that has the notch in the middle. Drilled a 13/16 hole all the way through. I've got my 5/16 3-inch bolt, and I'm gonna grind off this end so it'll just have the bolt. And then all I did is just drill through the table like so, and so the bolt comes up, and then there it is. I mixed up some JB Weld and then put it into the compartment, and so that way after 15 hours after I get off of work and after I sleep tomorrow, then I'll be able to do the other contact, and hopefully that'll also help direct the volts and the amps through the bolt and keep the heat away from the lid. So we're going to give that a shot, and that's our quick clip. Now, you might think that's a pretty good idea, using the JB Weld thing and to mitigate the heat at the terminals and all that neat stuff. But if you haven't caught it yet, let's take another look. Here we got our JB Weld, and like I said, after the video I finished up and I put another bolt in there, and that stuff's just like super hard, and I think that'll work out really well. But what's wrong with this picture? Besides the fact that it's drilled into the bottom of the table and I forgot to grind off the heads. Ah, yes. The joys of not making a well thought out plan. Now to get this out, I think I'm going to have to cut the table so I can actually use my lid. Let's take a look, see how that and that's what it's supposed to look like. So forget about all this. This really isn't important. So anyway, yes, the table turned out to be quite an experience, to say the least. But here we do have the finished product here, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. Yeah, it wasn't glued to the table; it was just bolted to the table. So, but anyway, the important thing is we can test this out and see how this works. And what's interesting is that with the cell, we can either use this lid on the top with the sleeve and the connector, or we could actually screw this in and you could bottom mount your connections or your terminals to help keep your terminals cool by having them submerged in water or the electrolyte. In other words, I'm trying to tap dance and anyway, yeah, right. So anyway, this works, and yeah, I hope you have as much fun as I do with this HHO stuff. Okay, and for one last parting shot, in case you're wondering about the workbench, actually it worked out pretty well. See, I ended up putting a couple of screws here and one in the back there. Got the infamous Walmart bag. And so now, when I trash on my desk, my workbench, it's good to go. So, instead of throwing it on the floor, I thought it worked out kind of good. Peace.
On the inside.